وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ.
Just quickly then, let's have a look at the Quranic framework course. Where did we start? Where are we heading? Very briefly. As you know, we initially started off, because the core of the course is Surah Al-Asr. So the first day we looked at some introductory concepts. As you can see, I'm not going to read through it. So we looked at those introductory concepts which were an exfoliation of Surah Al-Asr. And the 4 conditions or criteria for salvation: Iman, Amal Saleh, Tawasi bil Haq, Tawasi bil Sabr. Then we went on last session to Iman. So the first criteria for us to look at Iman in depth, in more detail, starting with Surah Al-Fatiha. And really, I hope that you spent time on the extended learning. And I kept emphasizing, especially the brothers and sisters I met after the course, that please read the Tafsir of Al-Fatiha, please. And I'm, alhamdulillah, very glad that you would have done that, inshallah. We then started to look at Al Imran, the ayat in the creation and its relevance to the people of Lub. We then looked at the Fitrah in Surah Nur, when that comes in connection with the light of revelation, light upon light. And Surah Qiyamah, the Iman bil Akhirah. And then we looked at some of the effects of Iman briefly in Surah At-Taghabun. So now really, what my expectation is, what our expectation is of you, is that you would have gone back, revised, consolidated that learning, extended it by going through the tafsir. Because some brothers, mashallah, they're doing some beautiful job, alhamdulillah, here. They not only are attending the course, but they are going back and sharing it with other brothers on a regular, weekly basis. Alhamdulillah. That's tawfiq from Allah, alhamdulillah. So that's something we should think about as well. Khair. Today then, we are focusing on Amalu Salih, the second criteria of success, which is righteous actions. Amalu Salih, from your pre-course, you would have noted 2 conditions for any action to be accepted as Amal Salih by Allah. Very quickly, who can tell me the 2 conditions? Very quickly. Sisters, I'll give you first, I'll give you the opportunity. Don't disappoint me, sisters. I just bigged you up and now you're... Huh? Allah Mustaan. Brothers, Amal Salih is what according to the pre-course? The conditions for Amal Salih. 2 conditions for any action to be accepted by Allah as a righteous action. Brother Nashad, give me 1 condition, please. Intention. Okay, ikhlas for Allah, yeah, intention. Second is, Nahid? Akhi, this is not your nikah, why are you hesitating? Huh? SubhanAllah, we're looking for you for a wife and you're hesitating. Sisters, yes? At the back? What was the key word for that? So following sunnah. Ittiba'. Jazakillah khair. Good. Khair. Moving on. Now the link between session 1 and 2 is pretty obvious, hopefully, inshallah, now that's the foundation of the believer in terms of Amal Salih. And now we're going to start to look at the more detailed characteristics of a true believer. And the title given here is Ibadur Rahman, the true servants and slaves of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. So let's have a look at very quickly some context here. It is a Makki surah. Period of revelation approximately the 7th year of Hijrah. Sorry, Nabawi, not Hijrah, Nabawi. And this is a time when the Prophet ﷺ is being accused of being mashur, possessed, muftara, somebody who has fabricated this revelation. And if you link this, or if you just see this in light of the previous surah, An-Nur, you will see that in Surah Nur, the allegations were against his family. Yeah, the incident of the ifk, slandering of our mother Aisha radiallahu anha. Here, they are slandering and accusing the Prophet ﷺ and his character. They are accusing him. So you can see that link. Khair. The beauty about this section is that, look at this, subhanAllah, this is an amazing reply to such accusations and such behavior towards invitation to Islam. They are ridiculing the Prophet ﷺ, accusing him of all things, and what is Allah inviting them to? Allah is inviting in this section to them, don't waste your time, because your time is precious, try to become Ibadur Rahman instead. Look at that. That's amazing, isn't it? This is da'wah. Da'wah is to invite to good, not to try to just win an argument. So this whole section is an invitation to Quraysh and to the Sahaba to make them strong, that these are the qualities and attributes you need to inculcate in yourselves. And O Quraysh, these are the qualities and attributes that you need to try to inculcate, because your time is running out. SubhanAllah, amazing. So the main thrust here is to build a strong character. And these are the main features that we will look at, inshallah. So the meaning of Al-Furqan has been given there from Lisan al-Arab, the classic dictionary of Arabic language. So at a glance, 6 qualities of a true believer have been highlighted in this section. Just very quickly have a look at that. I'll give you some time to just quickly look at that, inshallah. And then we will move on. Yeah? So 6 qualities of the mature believer. Let's take them then, inshallah, one at a time. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. وعباد الرحمن, the ibad of Rahman. Ibad is from abd ibadah. We mentioned the meaning, the root, etc. in Surah Al-Fatiha. So we're not going to repeat that. I expect you to know that. If we had more time, we would question and remind each other, but there's not enough time for that. So just remember, abd, ibadah. So these are ibadur Rahman. In a nutshell, ibadah is immense and intense love for Allah and immense and intense subservience, and humility to Allah. We mentioned that already. This is referring to the true slaves of Allah. Yeah, they show subservience. Now, in the Quran we see the word abid as well, which is also the plural for slaves. But there's a difference, make a note of it. Ibad are those slaves that willfully, out of their own choice, submit to the will of Allah. They are the ibad. Yeah? Ikhtiyari is called, yeah? They have the choice, they make the choice, ikhtiyari. Abid, every person by default is abid. Yeah? Because you are subservient to the laws of Allah whether you like it or not. You cannot defy gravity. You have to eat, you have to drink, you have to breathe, etc. Yeah? So in that respect, everybody is slave of Allah. But that's not willfully. That's by default. So here Allah Ta'ala, He is mentioning those ibad who willfully submit their wills and their nufus to Allah Ta'ala. And Allah, He in His wisdom, He has chosen here Ar-Rahman as that name and attribute of Allah, which shows the characteristic of these people. Meaning they, because they are ibad of Ar-Rahman, the most gracious, the most merciful, this should also reflect in them. And we know that abd, when Allah Ta'ala mentions abd, especially in Surah Al-Isra, the beginning, and Surah Al-Kahf, this is an honor given to the Prophet ﷺ. Yeah? This is an honor that Allah Ta'ala called him abd there. He didn't call him Rasul or Nabi, he called him abd there. When he was taken on the night journey and when he has been given this revelation. So the greatest status of a human being is when he is the most subservient to Allah. It's quite amazing. The more subservient you are, meaning the more you bow down in front of Allah, the higher your position with Allah. SubhanAllah, look at that. Amazing. Allahu Akbar. So these are Ibadur Rahman. So let's take the qualities now. الَّذِينَ يَمْشُونَ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ حَوْنًا. These are the people who, when they walk on the earth, they walk with something or a condition called hawnan. Hawn. Let's look at this word. In fact, before that, let's look at yamshuna. Yamshuna means they walk, yeah? Mashia, yamshi, to walk. It means not only how they walk as a person, yeah? So everybody has a certain gait, G-A-I-T, yeah? A certain style of walking. It also refers their whole life. Because you see, during our whole life, we are walking on this earth, yeah? It's as if we are walking on the earth until we die. So it's referring to the whole life. That when they do that, they do it in a way which is hawnan. Hawnan, linguistically, lenient, gentle, forbearance, tranquility, sobriety, dignity, gravity. This was something interesting. Deportment, commanding respect. So the way that they actually conduct themselves, especially which manifests through the way they walk, has all these characteristics. They are not haughty at all. They do not show any signs of pride. No takabbur. They do not show any signs of being a tyrant. They do not spread mischief in land. It's a very, very amazing, subhanAllah, this one expression, yamshuna ala ardi hawnan, is amazing, so vast. Not only do they walk in a certain way, I googled this for some time. I was looking at some studies, research on gait. There's actually gait research, G-A-I-T research, where people are researching what is the way we walk, how does that impact us, or how can we impact it? Yeah, how does it impact our character, our personality, how people see us, our confidence, etc., etc. And I came across, this is just very brief research, so what I did, this is not something extensive. They mentioned at least 25 ways of walking. They categorized people into 25 different ways of walking. Amazing, subhanAllah. Amazing, subhanAllah. So people are researching. The Quran told us how to walk, alhamdulillah. Yeah? This is why we shouldn't spend time trying to find things we know. Huh? Subhanallah lazim. That's why if we as a global community followed this guidance, we wouldn't waste time. So we are trying to find those things out which we know instinctively, and we reject it. This is misguidance. May Allah guide us. Khair. So hawnan, this is how they walk. They are very humble, obedient, and this is based on their knowledge of Allah and His greatness. The Prophet ﷺ said, the believer is hayyin wa layyin. Al-mu'min hayyin wa layyin. Hayyin is what we said, from haun, humble, dignified, respectful, etc. that we mentioned. And layyin, lenient. Layyin is lenient, yeah? You tajweed, you do harf lin, yeah? And Allah Ta'ala has mentioned that the house of the akhirah is for those who do not want domination on earth or they cause mischief. Because these people, when they conquer, especially when they conquer, because that is yamshuna fil ard, they are conquering the earth, yeah? Walking through the earth as conquerors. What is their stance? Do they walk in with pride and arrogance and killing? No. How did the Prophet ﷺ enter Mecca? On the camel, head bowed down. SubhanAllah. Beautiful example. Isn't that a beautiful example? SubhanAllah. So these are the people. Now, some more points regarding this. The Prophet ﷺ said to us, when you come to Salah, come in peace and calm. Meaning in this manner of having haun. And pray what you can with the congregation and then make up what you have missed. Meaning do not rush to the Salah. And yesterday we were here setting up and I saw this young boy who's running up the stairs. And I said, don't run. Because I was thinking about this at that time. And there's so many benefits in that. So many benefits. Because you will disturb yourself. You might trip over. You might hurt somebody else. Don't rush. You go, join what you can, and complete what you can. SubhanAllah. And what about the walk of the Prophet ﷺ? You should buy and read this book called Shamail at-Tirmidhi. I mentioned it before. The Shamail at-Tirmidhi. Beautiful description of the Prophet ﷺ in that. To fall in love with him, alayhi salatu wasalam. So he would walk as if he is descending from a high place, with force and with speed, but at the same time, every foothold was a firm foothold. And it would show purposefulness, a target, a mission. Not just walking for the sake of walking, or just, without any direction, strolling. No, with purpose. Walk with purpose. We shouldn't walk on the other side. We shouldn't walk as we shouldn't walk with pride. We shouldn't walk in a lazy state as either. Umar radiallahu anhu, when he saw this man walking as if he was really ill and down, he asked, why are you walking like that? And when he realized he's walking for that, as if this is tadarru, this is humility, he said, no. Yeah? No. You don't walk like that. You walk like a man. If you pardon the expression. You walk with purpose. Don't walk like that. Because you see, the way you walk is a manifestation of what's inside. If you walk with pride, if you walk with a swagger, or you walk with the rude boy walk, they call it rude boy walk. Look at me, I'm so, This is telling something about you, isn't it? So balance. Balance. So the Ibadur Rahman always, we will see in this section, always trying to balance. And we have come across Surah Luqman already, and we will inshallah today look also in Surah Al-Isra. لا تمشي في الأرض مرحا. Do not walk in the earth, with this pride, maraha. Hassan al-Basri said something beautiful. He said, the sincere believers, regarding them, their limbs, their eyes, their ears, their hands, their feet are all subservient to Allah, and they humble themselves in front of Allah. Everything. وَإِذَا خَاطَبَهُمُ الْجَاهِلُونَ قَالُوا سَلَامًا. And when they address and when they are in conversation, open public conversation, and this is from khutbah, khutbah is not a secret conversation or a quiet, it's an open conversation when they are addressing, and when they are addressed by people who are al-jahilun, the people who are ignorant, they do not have control over their emotions. This is the jahil. He's reckless, foolish, unrestrained, does not have any consideration regarding the person he is or she is speaking to. The mind which is empty of sound knowledge. Sound knowledge, yeah? That knowledge which is sound. Aql salim. And jahil is actually, in a way, it is the opposite of aql. Aql is to tie something. That's why then you have aql, yeah? You tie it to yourself. Yeah? Iqal is that which the Arabs wear around their head to tie the head garment. So jahil is the opposite. Erratic. Yeah? Doesn't think, calculate. So this shows that the Ibadur Rahman, they walk through the earth and they are addressing people, they are talking to people, they are telling them about Allah and His Rasul. And they come across people who are jahil. So now how do they deal with this situation? Salama. They do it in a very peaceful manner. Salam here does not mean the greeting of salam, assalamu alaikum. Yeah? Doesn't mean that. It means that they will end the conversation in a very peaceful manner. They will stop that conversation because this conversation is not fruitful, it's not going anywhere. It is only causing tension. Hence, the da'wah is being stopped. Therefore, they will interact with them in a peaceful manner, and they will then stop the conversation at a very nice ending, so that there is still space for further dialogue. Yes? They will not be overcome by their emotions and hence become one type of jahil. So they will have to control themselves. Now this is not easy, is it? It's not easy, especially the younger you are, the harder it is. Yeah? Especially teenagers. And then slightly older. When you come to my age, it's quite easy. Because you've realized by your mistakes, yeah? It's better to just be quiet and relax. Because this is not going anywhere. So they are always engaged in, this is the key point here, they engage, and then how do they deal with this engagement? If I remember correctly, there was one person who was sent to spy upon the Muslims in the time of the Prophet ﷺ and to see what are these people really like. And when he came back, he said something amazing. He said that these people, I've never seen people like this, who love their leader so much. To the extent, the Sahaba, they would compete to get the water of the Prophet's wudu. Allahu Akbar. So he said, these people are fursanum bin nahar. They are on horseback in the day, meaning they mean business. Yeah? Wa ruhbanum bil layl. But at the night they are like the monks, the scholars who are just praying. Balance. And the next ayah will now tell us. Yeah? So if you can try to keep a note that they are humble when they are hawnan, when they are doing their everyday job, which is to invite people. The next ayah now, if we see that, is what do they do at night? وَالَّذِينَ يَبِيتُونَ لِرَبِّهِمْ سُجَّدًا وَقِيَامًا. They spend parts of their nights in prayer such that they are in sajda, prostration and standing, meaning they are doing as-salah. Just like Surah Al-Muzammil says, فَقْرَأُوا مَا تَيَسَّرَ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ. Surah Al-Muzammil, ayah 20, says to the believers, hence you should pray from the Quran, which is easy for you. And as we know, the famous hadith of Abu Hurairah radiallahu anh, the Prophet ﷺ said that our Lord descends to the heaven during the last third of every night. And He says, who is calling upon me that I may answer him? So every night this happens, and the last third. Who is asking from me that I may give him? And who is seeking my forgiveness that I may forgive him? This is in Sahih al-Bukhari. So they are seeking that. Because you see, in the day, they are doing their job of da'wah, and in the night they are asking Allah Ta'ala for that strength to carry on to do that, and the connection with Allah, to renew that connection with Allah. So they spend the night, it's part of the night, in doing that. This has been mentioned in a few other ayats, just to take the reference. Surah Zariyat, ayah 18. and Surah Sajda, ayah 16. So Surah Dhariyat, ayah 18, and Surah Sajda, ayah 16. And you should really, when you do the extended learning, you should go through these ayat. And if you can, go through tafsir of these ayat as well, to give you more holistic, rich, deep understanding of these things. Inshallah. وَبِالْأَسْحَارِ هُمْ يَسْتَغْفِرُونَ. This is from Az-Zariyat. That in these early hours of the day, which is the late hours of the night, they are asking Allah Ta'ala for His forgiveness. And in the sajda, تَتَجَافَ جُنُوبُهُمْ عَنِ الْمَضَاجِعِ يَدْعُونَ رَبَّهُمْ خَوْفًا وَطَمَعًا. That they arise from their beds and they supplicate Allah in fear and in hope. This is their lifestyle. Ibn Abbas says, radiyallahu anhu, that the person who prays 2 or more rak'ah after Isha, he is also included in this. And Ibn Ashur said something beautiful. He said, the servant is closest to his Lord while in sujood. So the person wants to be close to Allah. The closest way to get to Allah, bow down in sajda. You can't go lower than sajda, yeah? It's not possible. So the more we humble ourselves, the heart and the mind and the body, the closer we become to Allah and beloved to Allah. And they do this because they are aware of Riya, showing off. Because they want to try their best to make their deeds sincerely for Allah, and it's very unlikely that a person would then show off because nobody else is there to watch. They try to seize this opportunity. And what do they ask for? وَالَّذِينَ يَقُولُونَ. And these people, what do they say? رَبَّنَا, O our Lord. رَبَّنَا اصْرِفْ عَنَّا عَذَابَ جَهَنَّمْ. O Allah, please avert from us the punishment of Jahannam. Save us from Jahannam. إِنَّ عَذَابَهَا كَانَ غَرَامًا. Because the adhab of this punishment is gharama. What is gharama? Gharama is serious. Linguistically, something that does not let go. Something that sticks to you, clings to you. An infatuation. Can't leave it. In Arabic, the word ghareem, from the same root, is the person who gives a loan to somebody and then is constantly chasing up that person for repayment. Yeah? Or if we just extend that, you give somebody something that you really, really like. For example, you give them your car, let's say. Or you give them your mobile phone. Because nowadays, mobile phone is the most precious thing on earth. SubhanAllah. You can see withdrawal symptoms if you take somebody's mobile phone away. I'll show you in a minute if you don't believe me. Yeah? As if they can't breathe anymore. In school especially. You took my phone, sir. As if oxygen has no more oxygen now. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Let's not become dependent on this. This is how we should be with Quran. If today I didn't read Quran, can't breathe. That's what we need to do. Especially the youngsters here, yeah? Don't become infatuated with a mobile phone. Mobile phone is just some sand and some oil and mixed up. That's it. That's all it is. So don't be attracted to that. Use it for the right reasons, but don't let it become gharama. Cling to it. So gharama is that clinging thing from which there is no separation. Ibn Abbas says, radiyallahu anhu, لازم دائم غير مفارق. Clinging, eternally and inseparable. Hence, it is the most evil torment which clings to a person eternally and is inseparable from that person. وَإِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. So these people, in the night, they are asking Allah Ta'ala for to be averted from this Jahannam because they believe in Jahannam to be true. We need to ask Allah, beg Allah, Allah give us iman in akhirah, Allah. We really need it. Allah, put it in our hearts. Just put it in my heart. So that I fear akhirah. I'm always thinking of akhirah as if more clear than this light in front of me. Hence, I will then be able to keep myself on the right path with your tawfiq. So, Iman bil akhirah has to be inculcated in us. We have to teach ourselves. We need to read the hadith about akhirah, Jannah, Jahannam, the description, the people of Jannah, the people of Jahannam, the crimes that they commit to enter into Jahannam, and the good deeds that they do to get to Jannah. And we need to keep reminding ourselves, keep reminding ourselves, keep reminding ourselves. And the best thing to do that, how? Quran. Of course, understood by the Sunnah process. Okay. إِنَّهَا سَاءَتْ مُسْتَقَرًّا وَمُقَامًا. This Jahannam, no doubt it is evil as a settlement and as residence. Mustaqar, muqama. Mustaqar is that place where you settle for good. Muqama, that place where you might stay for a while. Okay? So for example, I'll give you an example. If you go to Switzerland, I wanted to go to Switzerland, but my wife wanted to go somewhere else. Khair, inshallah, make dua I can go to Switzerland. I still want to go to Switzerland with her, inshallah. It's compromise, you have to compromise. This is wedding, yeah? Please, you have to, khair anyway. Alhamdulillah. If you go to Switzerland, like if I was to go to Switzerland, I would love to go there for some days, yeah? 3 days, a week. If I live there, I won't appreciate the beauty after a few weeks. Yeah? So as a muqama is very nice for just to stay for a while. Yeah? But to stay for long, not that good. Jahannam is a torment, is severe in both circumstances. Even if a person was to enter it for a moment, it is severe. And if the person has to live there, it is severe. And you know the beautiful hadith that mention the person, very quickly, the person who suffered all his life in this dunya, if he is dipped into the Jannah, just for a fraction of a second, he will forget all his worries. You see, we have to have iman in akhirah. And the person who spent all his life in 7-star. I don't know, Brother Ahmad, is there anything more than 7-star now? Not at the moment, but I'm sure people are working on it. Yeah? And if you just spend your whole life in 7-star, yeah, and you were not obedient to Allah, then the person would be dipped, as if dipped into the Jahannam for a fraction of a second, he would forget every 7-star. This is the akhirah. Subhanallah. That's why the people who have this belief, people think they're crazy. There's something wrong with these people. What's wrong with these people? Subhanallah. Khair. Moving on. So we see the balance here, that they are ruhbanun bil layl, yeah? They are falling down, prostrate at night, but in the day they are active. Moving on. Let me just check the timing so we don't go over. Okay, we have another 15 minutes before we break, inshallah. Khair. Good. Alhamdulillah. So the first was their outward activities, extrovert activities. The second was the introvert activities, yeah? And now they are now not just individual people, they are people who have other responsibilities. Yeah? And they have financial responsibilities. وَالَّذِينَ إِذَا أَنفَقُوا لَمْ يُسْرِفُوا وَلَمْ يَقْتُرُوا وَكَانَ بَيْنَ ذَلِكَ قَوَامًا. And when these Ibadur Rahman, when they spend, they do not go overboard, israf, and they do not become stingy, yaqtur. But in fact, they strike the moderate balance in between these two. So let's have a look at this. Infaq, the word infaq, nafaqa, is actually a tunnel or a subway. Yeah? Because you pass through it. And in Arabic, nafaqa for an animal means that the animal has passed away. Okay? Here the tafsir mentions this is regarding the obligatory financial responsibilities, i.e. they spend on their families and their friends in this way. So their spending pattern now, if you want to call it. Is there any other term we can use in today's context that we're living? I could think of spending pattern. Anything else we can think of? Any other word that would make more, would straight away give the meaning? Anything? Okay, then spending pattern. They do not do israf or iqtar. So what is israf? Israf is to go beyond the balanced and moderate way and to be extravagant and to spend more than needed for an actual need. Yeah? You need something and then you go overboard on something that you need. So for example, I always give this example. You need a pair of shoes, yeah? And you can, I don't remember now how much the shoes are anymore because mashallah, but the Ahmed supplies us with shoes, alhamdulillah. So, but khair. If, let's say, 30 pounds, 40 pounds shoes, yeah? Maximum, I wouldn't go more than that maybe. But you spend 200 pounds because it has some stupid label on it. Yeah? And you know these people, they're so stupid and people, I'm not going to say that because somebody might get offended. Then they put the label on the back now. They forgot to put it at the front, yeah? You know what I'm saying? And people are happy. I said to one of my students, I said, this label should be at the front, why is it at the back? Huh? People don't think. Yeah? I remember, I don't know if I mentioned it to you or not, I used to say this, not this, I used to say to my form, this is maybe 5-7 years ago, I said to one of the boys, I said that, no, why are you advertising this company for free? Yeah? So let's say, let me just check, oh there's Nike, I can't say Nike. Let's say take Nike anyway, yeah? Nike. Now you're advertising them for free. In fact, you're paying to advertise them. Yeah? So that struck him. Now every day he would check me, he'd say, sir, I'm looking for a label. I'm sure you have a label, maybe it's inside. Where did I learn this? I learned this from teachers. Our teachers, our shuyukh. Wouldn't see a label. In fact, my brother, I love him, he would actually cut off any label if there were. I remember on his sandal there was a label. Cut it off. Yeah? Because they don't advertise anything for free. Mu'min doesn't give anything his time for free. Yeah? So, yeah, so if you're going to spend on things that you need, especially for yourself and your family, don't go overboard. Okay? Tafasir say, to spend in the disobedience of Allah, even if it is a little amount, this is israf. Yeah, this is israf. Ibn Abbas says something beautiful. He says, even if you were to spend 100,000 dirham for the truth, it's not israf. Look at that. They had it clocked. They knew the balance, subhanallah. But even if you spend 1 dirham for no reason, this is israf. I was reading tafsir, and it said something beautiful. It said that you should try not to buy whatever you want whenever you want it either. Why? Then I thought about it. I thought, that's true. Because you then become into the habit of just buying things whenever you want it. Then you want to buy more. Satiated. And then you want to do more. And then this becomes a problem afterwards. So have a balance. Just like if we fast Monday and Thursday, we appreciate our food more. Yeah? We appreciate lunch. If you fast Monday, Tuesday your lunch is special. No matter what it is. Yeah? Because you have not satiated yourself every day with food. Iqtar, which is the other side, people who don't even spend on needs. They deprive themselves, self-deprivation, depriving their families of things that they need. Iqtar, yeah, yaqturu. So not to spend on the things that Allah and His Messenger has commanded us to spend in. Spend on your family. To be stingy, to be miserly, to be tight-fisted. This is not right either. وَكَانَ بَيْنَ ذَلِكَ قَوَامًا. They are in between these two. And in Surah Al-Isra, you will as well you will see, as well, وَلَا تَجْعَلْ يَدَكَ مَغْلُولَةً إِلَىٰ أُنُقِكَ وَلَا تَبْسُطْهَا كُلَّ الْبَسْطِ فَتَقْعُدَ مَلُومًا مَحْسُورًا. When Ustad Asim mentions and he does that tafsir, he means don't tie your hands too much to your neck, meaning that stingy, and don't just open your hands and just spend whatever. Yeah? Have the balance. And the best thing is moderation, as the hadith says, al-qasd fil faqr wal ghina. Have moderation in poverty and when you have plenty. Have moderation. Yeah? But then there's another aspect. A hadith says that when a person has been shown a favor from Allah, Allah gives a favor to His slave, then Allah loves that the favor is also visible. Yeah? So if a person, for example, is millionaire, then he shouldn't go and wear clothes that show him as if he is a poor person. He shouldn't do that. She should dress as Allah has given the ni'mah, because then a person will know this person is rich, I have a need, I can approach this person. Yeah? Allah loves this. So there's a great balance, isn't there? This is a balance that we all have to strike. Nobody can say, except for the parents. The parents can tell you, yeah, the kids here. Your parents can tell you yes or no. And you have to obey them, whether you like it or not. As long as what they're saying is right. You have to obey your parents. Yeah? Don't say oof to your parents. Don't say oof to your parents. Obey them in ma'ruf, in what is good. Straight away. Don't wait. Straight away. But this is amazing balance. One thing mentioned in the tafsir is Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, because he gave everything, yeah? You remember? He gave everything. Tafsir says that, but he was something else. That was his standard. He's an exception. Because he was for Allah and His Rasul. Because when he was asked, what have you left? And there's a beautiful couplet, I can't remember in Urdu. I remember a bit of it. Siddiq ke liye Allah aur uska Rasul bas. For Siddiq, Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, enough and sufficient for him is Allah and His Rasul. Because he gave everything. And you know his father, he was not Muslim at that point. He asked his daughters, what is he giving? Is there anything left? You remember what they did? Because they were intelligent. Asma and Aisha radiallahu anhuma. They put some stones into a bag, because he was blind, yeah, his father. And they said, look, father, there's something, he left something. And okay, he said, oh, that's okay. But Abu Bakr, he gave it all. Umar gave half and he was getting happy, mashallah. He said, that's it, Abu Bakr, I give up. I can't compete with you. So Abu Bakr is Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. Khair, moving on. We'll take one more. In fact, we won't take one more. We'll stop there, inshallah, for a break.